And if you're looking to boost your credit score and get the best rates, experts say you're going to have to, well, mix things up a bit.
Yeah, joining us to share the top 5 credits that you should have to achieve that is Director of Educational Outreach at Next Gen Personal Finance and YouTuber who goes by the name of MissBeHelpful, Yaneli Espinal. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Okay, so before we begin, let's talk about credit. What makes up those 3-digit numbers, that credit score?
Yeah, so there's 5 different factors that make up your credit score. And one of those factors is called mix of credit, or the credit mix that you have. And there's generally different categories of credit that you're going to want to make sure you have. So we can talk about those specific 5 types. A lot of people have heard of like credit cards or car loan, but they fit under general buckets. So that's going to be things like, so it's going to be something like revolving credit, where you actually have access to a credit limit. And once you pay back the bill, it's available to you again. That amount of money is available to you again to use. That's revolving credit. Example of that would be like a credit card.
Right.
Because you can keep spending and paying it back.
Okay, and what about installment?
Yeah, so then there's installment credit, which is actually not revolving at all. It's just you pay it back in monthly payments until the balance is down to 0, and then the account closes and you're all done.
Okay.
So that example of installment credit would be like a student loan or a personal loan where you're making payments until your balance is all gone.
Okay. You said there are 5, so what are the other ones?
Yep. So then there's service credit, which is actually really easy to set up. If you put your name on the bill at home, like an electric bill or a gas bill, that would be service credit. They're extending you a service and you make sure to pay your bill on time every month. And then there's 2 final ones, which are secured credit. And secured credit is actually where you put something down on the line called collateral. So if you can't make your payments, they're going to take that back. That could be a car loan or a home mortgage loan. If you don't pay your mortgage, they can take your house back, which is really scary. And then the last one is unsecured. So unsecured would mean you didn't put any collateral down and they still lend you money. So something like a personal loan or a student loan would be considered unsecured, where you get to access to money to pay for what you need and you don't really have to put anything on the line.
Okay, so, do you have to have all 5 of these in play to get good credit?
It's a good question. And I would say don't go run off and open every single type of account you can think of to get a good mix, because that's actually going to hurt your credit. You want to take it slow and only open the new type of credit that you need access to when you need it. And as you get older, you have a longer credit profile and you'll start to see a stronger score as you get a natural mix of these different categories.
So those are the types of credit, right? But if I'm watching right now and I'm like, oh, my credit score is just like stuck in this rut, I can't get out of it. How do I get it up?
How do you boost it?
How do you boost it to get to the
So
excellent
actually,
rate?
it's a great question, and that's what most people wonder when it comes to credit. There's 2 big pieces of your actual credit score that will impact your score the most, and that's going to be making your payments on time. So if you've had any late payments recently, you're going to want to call up your lenders and ask them for grace. Ask them to forgive you for that and wipe it off your credit, because if it's on your credit report, it hurts you. And then the second piece is utilization, which is how much are you actually owing right now on your credit cards? Because if you're getting really close to maxing out your cards, that is hurting you really, really badly. So you want to pay down your balances aggressively and try to only be spending a small fraction of what you have available.
But wait a second, if you're paying it all off, even if it's a larger amount and close to the max, isn't that okay?
No, actually, what you want to do is pay it off. You don't want to get close to the max. When you max out your credit card, that's the worst thing you can do, because you're using all of the credit available to you.
But you're paying it off, though. Doesn't that show that you can
that's
afford
what makes it counterintuitive.
Right.
People think, oh, but I'm going to pay it off. But actually, it shows that you're using so much credit. If an emergency were to come up, you wouldn't have enough credit to cover that emergency.
Let me ask you this, because people are always saying like, okay, the way to boost my credit is to just open more credit, right? You just try to build. So like, for example, you go to Macy's, you find this excellent furniture and it's like 0% financing, you open the credit card. Should you do it?
I would say no, absolutely not, unless you're in a position where you really need that furniture and it happens to be a great deal. Don't do it just for the purpose of increasing your score, because every time you open a new account, it hurts your credit score because of the hard inquiry or the hard credit check. So you don't want to be opening accounts left and right all willy-nilly. You want to take your time and do it right.
Got it.
Excellent.
Okay, this is really good information, stuff that you don't hear every day, right?
Yeah, seriously, come on back. We could talk to you all day, every day. But
you have been very helpful, MissBeHelpful.
Yes,
Thank
seriously.
you. And it would be great if this stuff was taught in schools, wouldn't it? That's
Wouldn't
right.
it?
We want to get
Wouldn't
this stuff
this
taught in schools. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I am with you because things like this, credit checks, opening credit cards, they shove the credit cards down your throat when you're in college and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. How do you buy a house? How do you apply for a loan? How do you go buy a car? It's like all
That
things.
financial planning.
Let's open a school for this, you and I. We'll talk offline.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.